Science education in the U.S. has made strides in the past 20 years, but there is still plenty of work to be done. That's the topic of a new survey from the Bayer Company, polling both teachers and parents and finding more effort is needed by the science community to encourage more girls and minorities to develop their interests in science. Dr. Mae Jemison has a special place in history as the first African-American woman to travel to space, and she joins us now to discuss the need for more science education in schools. Mae, thanks so much for being with us.
Oh, you're very welcome.
So according to this study, 85% of teachers say they would dedicate more time to science in class. So is this a resource problem?
So here's the thing. So when we talk about science education, a lot of times people think that it's something that you're relegated to books and you're reading out and you sort of study things. But real science education is hands-on. We remember things that we do. So the best science education is hands-on. What teachers are saying is that they would like to do more hands-on science, but because of the way the curriculum is set up, very frequently they have less time to teach science. There's something really interesting about that, though. In programs in states where more hands-on science is done, guess what happens? Reading scores go up as well.
Amazing.
So because you think about it, you need something to read. So what we're really doing and looking at is saying, what is the best way to get science literacy? And Bayer has been working on that for over 20 years, and I'm really thrilled to be a part of it as we mark this 20th anniversary.
And so what are some of the findings and the specific recommendations?
Well, some of the interesting things about the survey as well is we compared what parents said 20 years ago to what they said now. People know what STEM is, right?
Yes.
Science, technology, engineering, mathematics. That wasn't even a term back then. So we're much more aware of the need for science education. So many more people are aware that it will help students as they turn into adults and then they get jobs.
And I imagine they want it for their children, correct, to make them more employable, right?
Exactly, more employable. But if you think about it, it's not just about being a professional scientist or being a technician, but really we think our way through the day, right? Here in this studio, how much science and technology is there? We have to feel comfortable with it.
Right.
So those are parts of the pieces. Other interesting things out of the survey is that, and this is one people don't think about, parents and teachers say that kids have the best attitude towards science than any other subject. They like it more. So when we start talking about whether or not we have to do something to inspire children, I always say we have to do something to keep from de-inspiring them.
Very good point.
Because kids come out of the chute excited about science. So what we need to do is to figure out how to take advantage of that natural curiosity, and that's where the hands-on comes in.
And did the study find there was also a particular need to encourage girls and minorities?
So the study actually asked teachers and parents about their attitude toward girls and underrepresented minorities in the sciences, and they felt that there was a need to encourage it. Now, we do know from many other surveys and other studies that, for example, girls do as well as are better than boys all the way through high school in science, and they intend to go into a science subject, but very frequently they don't continue on. When they continue on, it's because usually they've been welcomed into the program by teachers and by their professors rather than discouraged. And, you know, we often have to thank them about that.
Well, tell us about your own story. What sparked your own interest in science, and then what nurtured you through your studies?
I was a kid in the world. I came out, I was excited to figure out what the world was about, just like any other child. And besides choosing my parents, well, I had teachers and different people who would help me out. They encouraged my love of discovering around the universe. Sometimes when I was very assertive, I remember calling up the Cook County Hospital hematology laboratory when I was a sophomore in high school. And I remember the head of the lab and the head of the hematology department invited me to come down, and I worked on science projects with the hematology lab, and these were things where people go out of their way to be mentors. And part of what we're doing with this 20-year anniversary celebration is how do we go forward? So I know there are a lot of people to thank in my past, and so how do we pay that forward? And it's by saying thank you, by promising to do at least 1 million more experiences.
Dr. Jemison, thank you so much. You're such an inspiring figure to children everywhere. Thanks for being with us here.
You're very welcome.